learners to Form 1 Mathematics. I would like us to look at a question here on fractions. Here we go. Charles spent a quarter of his salary on school fees. He spent a quarter of the remainder on electricity and water. He then spent 1/9 of what was left on transport. If he finally had 3,400 shillings, what was his salary? This should be a question. What was his salary? Let us look at this word problem, learners, to do with fractions. The first thing is to make some short notes here. You move as you make some short notes. Charles spent a quarter of his salary on school fees. You come and write here for the sake of understanding. School fees. Charles spent a quarter. That one is very clear. He spent a quarter. You can even circle it like that. That is the actual fraction of his salary which is spent on school fees. We move to the second sentence. He spent a quarter of the remainder on electricity and water. A quarter of the remainder, Lana, on electricity and water. You come and write here electricity, maybe you can write in short EL, and water. He spent a quarter of the remainder. A quarter of the remainder. What is this remainder, Lana? What is this remainder? We are told on school fees, he spent a quarter. So, what is the remainder of his salary? It is 3/4. Or maybe I can write it here. You talk of the remainder, maybe I can write it here. The remainder, therefore, will be equals to the whole salary, call it 1, minus the quarter that he spent on fees. Look at that, mathematics, to get the remainder. And so we talk of 1 minus a quarter, which you can see. If this denominator is 4, you come and write here 4/4 minus a quarter. Look at that, Lana. So the remainder is 3/4. Sometimes we do this offhand. If we have spent a quarter, then the remainder is 3/4. So you come and say, therefore, on water and electricity, Lana, he spent a quarter of the remainder, which is 3/4. I hope we are together. So, a quarter of the remainder, which is 3/4. Work out that. 3/16 of his salary, Lana, is spent on water and electricity. Look at that. I've even circled it. So, fees is a quarter of his salary. Electricity and water, Lana, is 3/16. Then, we move on, Lana, to what? To the next sentence. He then spent 1/9 of what was left on transport. He then spent 1/9 of what was left of the remainder again on transport. So, we go to transport. You write it in short for the sake of understanding. He spent 1/9 of what was left or of the remainder. What is this remainder again here, Lana? What is this remainder? The remainder is what? You will take what he spent. He spent a quarter on fees, 3/16 on water and electricity. That is what you first do, you add. So, up to here he had spent what? A quarter on fees and 3/16 on electricity and water. So, in total, you add LCM 16, this divided by this is 4, times that is 4 plus. This divided by this is 1, times 3, 3. So, Lana, Charles has already spent which is 1, minus the total spent, which is 7 over 16. 7 over 16, okay? Which is the same as what, learner? Again, you can do it offhand, or you can say 1 minus 7 over 16. So if the denominator here is 16, replace this one with 16 over 16 minus 7 over 16. I'm doing all this for the sake of understanding. And therefore, learner, so if this is 16, this is 16 over 16 minus 7 over 16. So the LCM is the same. The denominator is the same, sorry. So 16. So this minus this gives us 9. So this is the remainder. So you come back to transport, learner. Look at this. Transport, therefore, is 1 over 9 of the remainder, which is 9 over 16. Okay? 1 over 9 of 9 over 16. So there we are. And that's what you get. 1 over 16 is spent on transport. Look at that. I've circled again. So again, I remind you, fees, he has spent a quarter. Water and electricity, 3 over 16. Transport, 1 over 16. From there, what are we asked? If he finally had shillings 3,400, what was his salary? If he is now having left with 3,400, what was his salary? So you come and talk of total spent. Total spent. Total amount of money spent. He has spent what? A quarter on fees. Okay, learner? Then he has spent what? 3 over 16 on water and electricity. And he has spent what? 1 over 16 on what? Transport. You add to get the total spent. You can get the LCM, which is 16. You do the necessary. This is 4 times 1, 4. Plus this divided by this is 1 times that is 3. This divided by this is 1 times that is 1. So adding all this, you get 8 over 16, learner. He has spent 8 over 16 of his salary. Simplified by 8, 1 by 8, 2. So he has spent a half of his salary. And therefore he's left with what, learner? Look at this. He's left with what? He's left with the whole salary minus a half. The whole salary minus a half is a half. So he's left with a half. So a half, learner, is therefore equivalent to the amount of money that he was left with. If he finally had 3,400 shillings, so we are talking of the half which is left, therefore is equivalent to 3,400 shillings. Therefore, what is the whole salary? Represented with 1. What is the whole salary? Whole salary was what? Cross multiply. So you get what, learner? 3400 divided by a half. Cross multiplication. Divided by a half. So it is 3400 times 2 over 1, which gives you 6,800 shillings. Look at that, learner. This was his salary. That was his salary. So, learner, when you get such a problem, make sure you make some short notes. I'm repeating, just emphasizing. And you should borrow this in mathematics, that there is power in repetition. Keep on repeating such a question so that you internalize the concept. Look at this. School fees, a quarter. Electricity and water, a quarter of the remainder. What is the remainder? We have said you take the whole salary, you minus the quarter, which is 3/4. So electricity and water is a quarter of the remainder, which is 3 over 16. So he has spent a quarter on fees and this on electricity and water. Then transport, we are told 1 over 9 of the remainder. So what is the remainder as per now? He has already spent a quarter and 3 over 16. So you add them, you get what he has spent. So what is the remainder again? 1 minus 7 over 16, which is this. And so what is the transport? 1 over 9, look at that, times the remainder, which is this. So he has spent spent a quarter on fees, 3/16 on electricity and water, and 1/16 on transport, learner. So what is the total amount of money spent? You add the 3 fractions, you get a half. So what is left? What is he left with? He's left with a half. 1 minus a half, which is a half. So that half is equivalent, learner, to the amount of money that he's having at the end. So what is his salary represented by 1? What is his salary in shillings? You cross and you get that. All the best, learners, as you practice on such equations. God bless you.